Hey everybody, it's Nava at Spirit as Nava on Facebook again, live. And I'm continuing my series on the steps of spiritual mind treatment. And the first day I talked about the purpose, knowing what you want, how to clarify that, how to get a good purpose statement for what it is you actually want to pray for. And the second day I talked about step one, which is realization, which is kind of looking at the ways you like to, the words you like to use to describe spirit or the Almighty or whatever word you like to use, and how to get in touch with really the feeling of the fact that there's something much bigger than us going on here. And so today I'm doing step two, which is unification. So once you know where you're going and you remember that there is this all-pervading eternal presence, the next step is to remember that, well, logically, if that's really all there is, then that's what I'm made of too. That's what everybody is made of. And so whether I'm treating for a situation or the health of myself, or in this example, this series, I'm doing an example of peace of mind in the face of events that can be unsettling. And so what I would do in step two then is to remember that, well, spirit is all there is, therefore it must be a loving and peaceful presence. Otherwise, we couldn't continue to exist. It wouldn't happen. We'd all just collapse into entropy. And that's not happening. That despite the news, if I take a fast from the media for a while and forget about the turmoil going on, if I kind of pull back into myself and remember that there is peace, it's like, oh yeah, that is the peace of spirit. So step two is all about remembering that if I'm a drop in the ocean, to use a really popular metaphor, everything that I am is oceanness. All that, if I'm a drop in the ocean or a wave in the ocean, then everything that the ocean is, I am. I'm not the whole ocean. I'm not God, but I am made of that same stuff. And I am so integrated with it that you can't pull one drop out of the ocean. It's a drop in the ocean. It is all that we really are. And so let's just take a moment to remember that, yeah, there is this peace. We notice events happening because they happen within the frame, within the space of this peace. You can hear my voice because there is quiet. You can feel your heartbeat because there is peace, there is space. We're not all, in one big clump. Maybe that's what a black hole is like. So it's all spacious. And you heard in my realization statement, step one of the things I like to use is the stars, because that's the closest thing that I can see with my eyes to infinity. And we have telescopes, the Hubble telescope and everything that can see further and further, and it just, we don't know if we'll ever find the end of it. And even if we did, it's so much bigger than us. And so that presence that created the Big Bang, that created all of the planets, all of the stars, also created me. It also created you. And so I'll do a second step example. This first series is just praying for ourselves. And at the end, I'll do a video on how to pray for someone else, how you adapt this step for someone else. And so in our example, we're doing peace of mind in times of turmoil. And so my first step was something like, there is only one life. There's only one thing happening here, despite how I might feel in any given moment. And that presence is peaceful. It is love. It is loving every moment, creating us every moment. Our atoms are coming into and out of physical existence. Where are they going and where are they coming from? Pretty cool. And so the second step is that I am made of that. The cells of my being are created moment after moment, second after second, from this invisible something that is beyond description. I am made of that. I am living as that, and it is living as me. It is all I am and all I ever could be. So the peace of spirit is my peace. The joy of spirit is my joy. And the love of spirit is my love. And the centered, beautiful joy and love of spirit is all I am. And that would be enough for me. And if you don't like such poetic language, you might just go the logical route and say, well, there's something that guides all of life. There's something that tells conception how to happen and how those cells divide. Yeah, it's encoded in the DNA, and science can tell us all that. And there's some intelligence guiding that. Isn't that wild? And so, because there's something like that, beyond anything I could explain or know or imagine even, I can try to imagine it with what I know, to point to it, and remember that, well, if there really is only one God, spirit, life, infinite presence, then I have to be logically part of that. And so you can go as laser clear-cut logical as you want, or as poetic as you want, whatever works for you. And that's step 2. So tomorrow I'll come back and talk about step 3, which is called realization. And in that step, really, if you do the first 2 steps correctly, it's like, well, of course, the power that holds all the planets in orbit in our solar system and every solar system could certainly handle my little problem. So the first 2 steps, when you get there, you're kind of almost all the way there anyway. So work on those 2 steps, practice those, and really just, I like to say my prayers out loud, even when I'm by myself, because otherwise my mind gets sidetracked, I go off. So practice them out loud if nobody's looking, go in the bathroom, close the door, practice it. Sit in a room by yourself and just practice imagining it. And even if you don't believe it, imagine that it could be true and see what happens. Make it an experiment. So I'll talk to you tomorrow, and we'll do step 3, the realization. Bye for now.